In senior year, we had an incident where I saw her phone as she was sitting next to me. I saw she was texting Brendan, her ex-boyfriend. I asked her why she was texting him, and she replied that they dated back in freshman year, so she didn't think much of it. She described them as only having had puppy love. But we got together in sophomore year. I told her that I didn't feel comfortable with her texting him all the time because I feared that it would hurt our relationship, but she said that she'd been here for 3 years, that she wasn't going anywhere. I allowed her to continue talking to him, but a few months later, she started asking if they could hang out together. I really didn't feel comfortable with that, but I again allowed it because I was going away to college soon and knew that we'd have to trust each other. Fast forward to today, and he's the same guy that got my girlfriend pregnant. And she expected me to raise the child and take care of her. The next day, my head was still spinning. I was so in shock, hurt, and confused. I knew I had to confront Sophia. I couldn't just let this slide. I went to her parents' house. My heart was pounding in my chest when she opened the door. She looked surprised to see me, but she looked a bit guilty. I guess she remembered what she had said the night before. We sat on the couch. I addressed what she had said the night before. She immediately denied that she had said that to my friend, claiming that she thought it would be a funny joke while she was drunk. Neither of us found it funny. I told her to prove to me that it wasn't true and pulled out a pregnancy test that I had bought from the store before I came. Her eyes widened with shock when she recognized what I had. I told her if she couldn't take the test, then we couldn't work out. I knew in my heart that I still wanted to be with her, but I knew in my head that I couldn't be with her after she cheated on me with her ex. She lied to me and wanted to put my dreams aside to support her. She tried to deny it and flip it on me. She asked me if I didn't trust her, and if I didn't, then we shouldn't be together. I told her that I was leaving and we were done. She grabbed my arm to make me stay and confessed. She said she was a few weeks along and that it was an accident. She only did it one time, and she wanted me to be the father since I was a better person. She broke down into sobs and kept saying that she loved me and not him. She kept saying that it was just a mistake. I knew the answer before I came, but my heart was still broken to hear it come out of her mouth. I really believed that we had something that would last. Something real. I left that day, but her calls and texts over the next few days didn't stop. It hurt having to watch her face light up on my phone screen and having to ignore it for my own sake. After she saw that I wouldn't respond to any of her calls and texts, she showed up at my parents' house. My mom answered the door, and she held her head down in shame. She asked for me, and I walked down the stairs to see her. I asked her what she wanted, and she said she just wanted to talk. I agreed and told her that after this talk, she'd have to promise to leave me alone. She agreed, and we went to my room. As soon as she sat on the bed, she burst into tears again, saying she felt scared and alone and begged for me back. I told her that I just wanted one thing from her. She asked me what it was, and I asked her for a paternity test on the baby. Because if it did indeed come back as mine, I'd be willing to take care of the child. However, I would still not be with her. She piped up, asking me why that was the case. I was in utter disbelief. I had to explain to her that the reason I wasn't going to be with her, regardless of whether the baby was mine or not, was because she cheated on me with her ex-boyfriend. It was only one time, she said. Yeah, that one time was my black swan event. Like it or not, I can never see you the same way again. Before I left her, I wanted to make sure she wasn't carrying my child because my dad always taught me that no child deserves to be raised without a father. I think she was under the assumption that I would take her back if she did the test, because at that moment, she dried her tears and began smiling, saying she would do it tomorrow morning. I explicitly told her that that didn't mean we were back together, but her delusions got the best of her. She was convinced that since I allowed her to talk to me, we were back together. I honestly have no idea how she even managed to extrapolate that from what I had told her, but nonetheless, the next day, she took the test and the doctor sent it off. They told us that it would be a few weeks before they would get the results. And in the meantime, she tried to hang out with me and would often call my phone about things that didn't pertain to the baby. I told her that I would care for her until I knew the results, and she took it a few steps too far. She would often show up at my house unannounced and even tried to get intimate with me. If you are liking it, follow us for part 2.